Welcome in James's friend, one of Michigan's greatest offensive linemen ever, former #1 overall pick, Jake Long, who joins us on the phone. Jake, before I let you and James talk all sorts of smack and argue about who had the better college career in games that one or both of you were robbed in, what does this week mean for you, even almost a decade removed from Michigan, knowing that it's Michigan-Ohio State week?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is definitely the greatest rivalry there is in sports. I think not just in college football, but all of sports. Just two great schools, two great rivalry or traditions, and just going at it and leaving it all on the field. It's the last game of the year, so you really don't have to hold anything in the tank. And the fans love it, the players love it, both states love it, and it's there's nothing like Michigan-Ohio State week.
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly right. When you talk about this rivalry and the fact that Michigan and Ohio border each other, and you go up to Toledo, and there's even battles about the state line and all of that. This is one of those rivalries that you think about every single day of the year, and you're preparing for it year-round. This is something that I know Coach Tressel for us would have us do a period every single practice where it's called maize and blue. And if you're an offensive guy, you're protecting the football. If you're a defensive guy, you're trying to disrupt the football and get a takeaway. So this is one of those games that you definitely think about year-round, and it's one of the most energetic and definitely the most physical game you'll play all year.
Yeah, Jake, did you guys do stuff like that in Ann Arbor? Did Coach Carr have specific periods or specific stuff that you did all throughout the year getting ready for OSU?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had a clock. We had a clock countdown in our locker room or in the main meeting room that was to the Ohio State game, and you know, the week of they blared their dang fight song throughout our entire building every single minute of the day. So like it is the most sickening fight song there is. So it just rings in your ears. And then all the practice squad guys were all red, and you know, so it's a fun rival. But yeah, you know, you get sick of hearing all that.
That's funny to hear that, because I didn't even realize that. We haven't really talked about that part of it. But our scout team players used to have to get electrical tape out, and they'd get blue electrical tape, and then they'd get yellow electrical tape, and they basically have them cut the Michigan helmet. And so, like, even the helmets, wasn't just the jerseys, you know, that they were just wearing the Navy jerseys. They're wearing these helmets to be replicas so that you just got used to hitting any Wolverine that you saw in practice. And in those practices, those thud periods were a lot more than just thud up.
Yeah, you just don't want to be one of those scout players walking around with the maize and blue, I'm guessing, in Columbus once you leave the stadium and the protection of all your former teammates. Jake, I know that there has been some grief given back and forth about a couple of calls maybe during some of the games that you guys played. Do you have one in mind that comes quickly to the forefront of your brain?
Absolutely, and I know James knows this too. That late hit on Crable on Troy Smith, that was an iffy call. It really was.
Iffy. Okay. So Troy is the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy,
which should have nothing to do with how the referee calls the game.
You're going to get the benefit of that. Listen, that ref, give him credit. That ref was before his time with player safety issues. And so he just decided, you know what, this needs to happen. And so I'm just going to go ahead and throw a flag. It helped, obviously, get a first down for our squad. We went down and put some points on the board, and we were able to get the victory in the greatest game in the history of this rivalry.
Jake very quickly says,
so here's the deal. So Troy Smith was the most dynamic quarterback in college football. So he could plant his foot and stop on a dime and gain another 30 yards. So he's run out of bounds, and he's, you know, he could have stuck his foot in and came back in bounds and got another 30 yards. So Crable thought he'd finish him off and make sure that the play was over. And, I mean, he was barely a half a step out of bounds, and he hit him. It was just, I don't know. It was an iffy call. And then a few years ago when they didn't measure and just gave Ohio State the first down. I mean, you know, that was just measure and then make it close. And then, you know, all of us Michigan fans would shut up if we measured it. But,
yeah,
you know.
I was there for that, by the way, and it was so close. Karan Higdon actually said today during the press conference, he said, I think everybody knows that we really won that game. Now, I'm not so sure that he's going to get a lot of agreement from the folks that actually watched that game in Columbus. But, Jake, before we let you go, you know, Ohio State obviously is a double-digit favorite in this game, even though it's at the Big House. Michigan dealing with a ton of quarterback injuries. What do you need to see? What would you like to see from the offense this weekend, regardless of whether it's Brandon Peters or Wilton Spade or John O'Korn? What do they need to do offensively to win?
Well, first and foremost, they got to win the line of scrimmage. You know, and going up against Ohio State's D-line, I think this is going to be their greatest test of the year. Ohio State's defensive line, I think, is the best in the Big Ten. So they have their hands cut out, their work cut out for them. But if that offensive line can run the ball like they had a few weeks ago and can protect whatever quarterback it is in there, I don't care who's in there, then they have a chance to win the game and just get rolling up front and just, you know, throw all the records away. What the media is saying, what anybody's saying, this is your last game. This is senior week. This is the last game in the big house. This is the Michigan-Ohio State game. Throw it all out the window and just go play a flawless game. And that's, you know, it all starts up front. So for them to be able to win, they got to win up front.
Last word, Mr. Laurinaitis.
Yeah, you know, they always say that when you are done playing, you watch the position that you played. Does it surprise you that Jake talked about it up front? But
I think he's right, by the way.
But I absolutely agree with them. Football games are one of the trenches. No matter what the spread offense, you know, the kind of the wave of offenses now, this game is always going to come down to the trenches, and it's going to come down to which side of the football on both sides. Same thing for Ohio State's offense. They have all this explosive, all these numbers. Can they get the line of scrimmage won against a Michigan defense that flies around guys like Devin Bush, Mo Hurst, Rashawn Gary, these guys that are big playmakers? Can they control them up front to be able to move the football on the ground? Because if not, and you let Don Brown attack you in those third down packages, it could be a long day.
Well, I think Coach Harbaugh is still searching for a loophole to try to find a way to get Jake's eligibility one more game, because he could certainly use the tackle. Jake Long, truly appreciate the time. Know you're really busy. Hope you have a couple of moments to watch the game on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.